Thanks for watching. I'm Margot Kinberg, and this is In the Spotlight, a closer look at a crime novel. We've all read stories that were later adapted into films or TV series, but sometimes the opposite happens, where scripts from television programs or films are adapted for books. Let's take a look at an example of that today and turn the spotlight on Cath Staincliffe's Blue Murder. The real action in this story begins when Manchester school teacher Matthew Tully is murdered while he's working on his allotment. The police are called in, and newly promoted Detective Chief Inspector Janine Lewis takes charge of the investigation. Detective Inspector Richard Main works with her. It doesn't take long for the team to unearth a few possibilities for motives. For one thing, Tully had problems with one of his students, and that could have led to his murder. For another, there's evidence that a lowlife named Dean Hendricks was at the allotment on the day of the murder. It's hard to see how his path would have crossed Tully's, but it could have happened. There's also Tully's wife, Leslie. On the surface, it seems as though it was a good marriage, but it's hard to know what happens in couples' private lives. There are other possibilities too, and what makes it harder is there were very few witnesses. The only two people who saw anything of importance are an elderly sick man and a 7-year-old girl. Lewis and her team work through the various leads and pieces of evidence to find out the truth, but it won't be easy, as most of the people they talk to aren't saying everything they know. In the meantime, Lewis deals with a very busy home life. She's a single mother to 3 children and pregnant with a 4th. She also has to deal with a boss who's not entirely convinced she should be the senior investigating officer on this case. Still, she and the team keep going, and in the end, they find out the truth. So, what holds this novel together? What keeps it going, and what are the elements in it? If you recognize Janine Lewis' character or the title of the book, well, as I said before, there's a reason for that. The story is based on a series of screenplays that Staincliffe wrote for the TV series Blue Murder, nearly 20 years ago, actually. The book goes a bit more deeply into some of the characters as well as the crime itself, but the book and the screenplays have the same author, so they have much in common. This is a police procedural, so readers follow along as the police interview people, make sense of evidence, and put the pieces of the puzzle together. There's a bit of police politics involved, but it's not a major part of the story. More focus is on the steps the team takes, their responses to setbacks, and the way they gradually put the pieces of the puzzle together. Janine Lewis is the main character, and the story is told mostly from her point of view, third person, past tense. She's often got competing demands on her attention and time, what with 3 children and 1 on the way, and all of the demanding work that goes into solving a brutal murder. She's also trying to earn her stripes with this case, so that puts pressure on her too. She makes some mistakes, but she's a good cop with good instincts, and she has a sense of humor that's woven throughout the novel. The mystery itself, who killed Matthew Tully and why, is complex, and its solution has to do with secrets that people have been keeping. I can say without spoiling the story that some of it is ugly and gritty. That said, though, the story isn't overly gory or gratuitous. Blue Murder is a police procedural that features a bizarre murder, a cast of unreliable, or are they, characters, and a newly minted down-to-earth DCI who doesn't give up. This has been In the Spotlight. I'm Margot Kinberg. Thanks for watching.